And we are live, I do believe, I never trust it, on YouTube, Mr. Ant's World of Prince and the Night Child Reviews. Let's see. Yes, here we go. We're up. Always a bit of a lag. Let's just gather for a minute. Saturday evening, quiz round 6, yeah? Got your questions ready?
Don't freak me out. You were mean in those quizzes. You asked incredibly difficult questions that no one really knew, like the barcode to like the 4th Japanese release of whatever. It's unbelievable.
People kept saying it was getting too easy, so I thought, right, let's go to the completely nth degree, So
and you did.
I did. I thought, right, let's really push it. So Oh, Tony Delta Blues, hello there.
Hey,
well,
Tony.
Nice to see you.
Oh.
Nice. Let's just let a few people gather before we start proceedings. Just chill out.
You're almost making it out that we've got something planned and we haven't. We're just gonna freestyle
it. Absolutely, that's the way we always do things. Yeah,
exactly.
Go on.
J3121. Obviously, J is the best name there has ever been. Actually, good name.
Hi, Jay. Yeah, evening, boys. Yes. How are we? I'm all right. Tony Delta. Yeah, not bad. Thank you.
We don't know what day it is, but then I suppose that's quite normal at the moment.
That is true.
Haven't got a clue.
Things are trying to get back to normal, but it's a bit crazy. We've got 7 people in. 7 people.
That's more people who watched my last video. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh,
I keep sending out those copyright, infringements to you, but you still get your channel up. I don't know what's going on.
I know.
I'm Maya Boca. Hello, Maya Boca.
Hello. Good evening.
It's the most times we've been called gentlemen ever. That's very nice.
It is nice. Yeah. I like
well,
that.
Usually we just get oi you.
Yeah, oi. And some other things we're not going to mention because it's only just after the watershed. 10 people in the house. Hey, Englishman. Sup, y'all? Danny, Vault Creator. Hello. J3112, have you pre-ordered Welcome to America vinyl?
That's quite a story.
We'll get to that.
That's quite a story in itself. You wouldn't think ordering something would be so...
No, I had to brush up on my French.
Yes.
All
those years I ignored French.
Yeah. I knew there was a reason I should have paid attention, but there we go. The big guns are arriving. Oh dear. Well, let's start all three sides of it. Yeah. Side 4, the etching. There we go. Yeah, everyone in. Well, so here we are then. So as you know, we're approaching 5 years, unfortunately. Next Wednesday, isn't it? I do believe. Anniversary of untimely passing the Prince. Artful, hey, where have you been? We're always here. We're always busy working on stuff. It's just time, isn't it? Sometimes we have a little break. We are working on a review at the moment, aren't we? Of our now out series. So that'll be up soon. Certain Mauve Rain or something album. Never heard of it, but that's kind of a big stumbling block to review that album. So,
it's too big to look at. It's too big to look at.
Yeah. Anyway, so excuses. We thought it was time to reflect back on everything that's happened in the last 5 years and ask the questions of, are you happy with how the estate has proceeded, with things that have happened? Are you happy with the releases? What do you wish could have come out, or are you happy with what you've seen? What do you want in the future? What has been released? Let's just have a little go back and see where we're at 5 years down the line and see the sort of state of play as we say.
I thought I would also sort of mention a few, just as a quick reminder of the projects obviously that we have had. It seems a long way back now, but we had Prince Forever, which seems like that was another world, but that was 6 months to the day after Prince passed away in November 2016, and that was obviously Prince Forever was very much meant for the kind of for I said a casual listener, but people who wanted to always have a best of Prince. It's something that obviously became quite popular and sold quite well. It was obviously the first release, and it had it's just rammed with hits. But that seems ages ago. I remember that coming out, that gorgeous photograph on the front for Prince Forever. So I think that was they obviously at the time wanted to get something out that would a lot of people were talking about Prince, and there was still people who somehow didn't know about him, and this was kind of a good gateway to kind of get into his work. Obviously, that was one project. We had Purple Rain Deluxe, didn't we?
Yes. Which has already been completed by Prince, isn't it? Well, the remaster had anyway. But.
Yeah, I mean, Purple Rain Deluxe is strange because now we've seen Sign of the Times Deluxe in 1999. A lot of people are kind of saying, well, should it have been more? Should we have really got a bigger deluxe package? And should we go back to that? A lot of people still don't feel that like Purple Rain was sort of has been done almost. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, but I think obviously you've got to look at the fact that it was relatively early on in the kind of the development of the estate and getting things together. Following that, we also had the do you remember the anthology, the 1995 to 2010 anthology,
yes.
Which was good because I think it reminded people that Prince wasn't just an 80s act, and it wasn't all about the 80s. And 95 to 2010 really had that kind of those tracks that the casual listener wouldn't have heard. A lot of people missed a lot of Prince's work during those times. The next project, we're rushing through this. Next project was Piano and a Microphone 83, which I think Piano and Microphone 1983 is probably the most controversial release. I think a lot of people I've heard sort of talk about it feel that Piano and Microphone should have been like a bonus disc, perhaps. It should have come with a set of something else. It shouldn't necessarily be a release on its own. Obviously, a large part of it had already been, bootlegs, but also it felt a bit, I don't know. I mean, some people have said rather unkindly that it's almost like someone wanted in the vault and just grabbed something and went, "Oh, this is great." And I think it's I think perhaps Piano and Microphone would have worked possibly even with maybe Purple Rain or something like that, just as a bonus kind of an extra disc. And I think putting it out there has unfortunately made the release of Piano and Microphone 2016 a little bit more difficult, because although we know the difference, I mean, people in the Prince community know there's a huge difference between Piano and Microphone 1983, which is basically not meant to be heard. It's a kind of rehearsal. It's Prince working out ideas, to Prince's Piano and Microphone tour 2016, where he played all the hits. It was meant to be a concert. It was out there. It's a very, very different thing. But to a lot of the casual fans or people who don't know Prince that well, they're going to say, well, why have you got out another Piano and Microphone? You've already done one. What's the difference? I've already heard this. I don't need to hear. And they're so different, so hugely different. It worries me that, Piano and Microphone 2016 was perhaps the album I expected the most. If you'd have said to me in 5 years' time what had been released, the one thing I'd say guaranteed would be Piano and a Microphone. But I shall pass over to you for a second. We'll pause there, but I should also mention we've also had His Majesty's Pop Life, which is obviously a record store day. We had that. We had the Versace Experience. Remember Versace? Versace. I love the way Prince did that. It's like a copyright. It was like, if I say Versace, no one else can do it. Yeah. And obviously, then we'll get onto some of the bigger sets, but we've got lots more coming up. Indeed, that's only half of it.
Well, a lot of things. Well, just before that, we'll say hello, Diana Williams. There's a lot of people chatting away there. Hello, Get Wild 24. To go on what you said there, like the Piano and a Microphone 83 could have easily been part of the Purple Rain Deluxe. I think it's very difficult, obviously, because we're dealing with a situation that's never happened before with someone with that much material and award. So, in one way, you could say, they could have gone to people who know, who've got inside knowledge to help sort it out. On the other hand, they've gone in there and maybe panicked, as you say, a little bit. What do we do with all this stuff, and just put something out there, as quick as possible? And as you know, was it 4 or 5 days before he passed away, where he showed off that guitar? He played some of the tracks from the Piano and a Microphone 2016, that was going to be coming up, because he was mixing the live album, wasn't he, from the show? And he previewed some of the tracks that night at Paisley Park. So that was, presumably almost in the can or almost finished. So And I always feel with that one that its time's passed. You've missed the boat with that now. It wouldn't have the same impact as it would have done if you'd released it the first thing, or the first year after you passed first anniversary or something, you know. Because the longer down the line it gets, the more it's like, man, you know, the moment's gone. That's what I said. The moment's gone, you know.
And it's such an emotional listen. I listened to it.
I want it, you know.
Yeah, I listened to again a few, like a couple of months ago. It's a really emotional listen. But then you think if you'd have heard that, you know, relatively shortly after his passing, I think that would have. It still hits you now, but I think it would have hit even harder. And I think possibly, you know, like I said, Piano Microphone 83 was the biggest misstep. I mean, I know they were finding their finding their feet.
Yeah.
That was the first kind of, what should I say, the first kind of slightly different idea they had, because obviously they, you know, before it ever came out, hits, that's an obvious kind of choice. Get some hits albums out. Purple Rain is the obvious go-to album to do. Anthology again is a greatest hits album, but from later on in his career. So Piano Microphone was the first kind of project that most people wouldn't have heard. And yeah, I think it is a missed opportunity. I think you're right. I think in a way, it's had that not come out, maybe Piano Microphone 2016 could have come out, and Piano Microphone 2016 would have had video, we would presume, because it was all filmed. So yeah,
exactly. And it could have been, you could have sold it as, you know, well, here's the tour that you didn't get to see because he was coming to the UK, he was going around, you know, but those shows never happened.
I think you would probably say that, you know, that's something. Obviously, they did that a bit with Michael Jackson with the "This Is It" documentary. And I think having that last tour of Prince and saying, like you say, this is his final tour, just Prince, just, you know, a piano, not how you knew him, not this rock guitar hero, you know,
just the pure essence of his talent, basically. You know, just the purest form.
You've got nowhere to hide, have you? I mean, there's just you and the piano, and that's it. So,
but it's interesting with the releases, like you've just gone through the first half of them. And you say it's very mixed bag. And when you look at things like 1999 Super Deluxe and Silent Time, you say they make the Purple Rain look woeful in comparison. So you can see where the improvements come on. Even and I think the tide, the corner, started to turn with originals. I thought that was a really good idea.
Yeah.
See behind me here. I think that's when the releases started to improve.
Product placement there. That's
yeah, come on, pay me up. I say.
I think you're right. I think you're right though, because I think I'll tell you what the thing about originals. I didn't really what's the word? It wasn't necessarily something I expected, and it was one of those things that I ended up loving a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah,
that sounds bad. Yeah,
me too. Yeah, I really like originals. Just hearing these versions of all those tracks, it was fascinating. You know?
And it's something I replay quite a lot, whereas I don't replay Piano Microphone 83. A great deal. Whereas originals, I do replay, and I think and to be fair, like I say, originals, you know, you could easily do, you know, quite a few volumes, quite frankly, probably with all the stuff that Prince has, you know, done. But that surprised me, because I think it's good because it gets it out there that Prince was a prolific songwriter for other artists and had huge success that way, and he wasn't just, you know, he had so much coming out with him, but also it just it's good to see his interpretations and some of the time stuff. It's very similar to how Morris and the time Morris took that as a real proper strict blueprint, really, isn't it?
Yeah, hearing his version of G-Close Get Lonely Too was just thank you. I love I Will Be Done. Yeah, Holly Rock. Yeah, that's my son's favorite. He loves Holly Rock.
I've got to agree with Vault Curator, and Vault Curator was what we needed for the you know, when they're thinking about Piano Microphone 83, they should have had
should have just sent in the keys and say, there you go, son, sort it out.
He says that I can't believe Cold Coffee and Cocaine entered the discography before Do Yourself a Favour, Rebirth of the Flesh, or A Large Room with No Light. I mean, when you look at the lineup of those tracks, yeah, it's a head scratch. It does feel a little bit like a rushed.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's the first step, and you're right. I think the really important point you made about how this hasn't really happened before, because we've had artists pass away, and some of them have either left not very, you know, very few unreleased tracks, or some have left maybe 2 or 3 albums. There's no one who's got a vault like Prince, and this is not a case of, oh, we can bring out, you know, the best of and maybe a few extra tracks. This is something where you could plan for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. I mean, they're talking about on the recent documentary, you know, thousands of 8,000 songs. Who knows at what stage they're completed, and you could have a release So in a sense, we can't treat Prince's estate like any other person's estate. We can't say, some people's estate, you can say, we're going to release something every 2 or 3 years, maybe 5 years. With the Prince, there's so much stuff, so much work that you think, well, you need to look at it differently. Yeah, you've got to treat it differently and get them out there much quicker. We're going to be very poor if they do that, but
and they are ramping it up a bit. It has improved. It's interesting, like when you look at 1999 Deluxe is one of my favourite releases. It's a superb set. I love those vault tracks more than the Sign of the Times ones, actually. I really do. And that was a great set when it was, wow, this is amazing. Then you get the Sign of the Times. And then you look at the 1991 one and you think, no. The Sign of the Times one is incredible. The work they put into that. Incredible set, isn't it? Just the size of it and the book.
It's strange because there's so much in Sign of the Times, isn't there? It's almost too much to take in at first. But I think 1999 is probably my favourite, because I think slightly less was known about that era, and I think there was a lot of tracks that we weren't quite so familiar with, and I do like the little design, the kind of space agey silver design. But I actually I probably slightly prefer 1999 Deluxe, but I also agree that they're moving in the right direction in terms of making these bigger sets. Obviously, we'll get to Welcome to America and
we will in a minute.
The good and the bad, but we also got to remember that they put the very often seen Prince and the Revolution live on YouTube. Do you remember that when they put it on YouTube, the concert for about, was it 3 or 4 days? I can't remember. It was to actually raise money for COVID-19 relief funds, which we're still in it. So yeah.
I know. But I was just asking, do you believe the story that Prince forgot the code to his original vault? Now, this is something they mentioned in that.
Apparently, it is true. He started piling up. They said he started piling up in it's like a pre-vault or a vault, a room next to the vault where he started to put stuff. But
what I find interesting about that, I was just going to say, is that he went in and got some of those early 80s tracks out for like Hit and Run. So
this is. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, well, where did he get them from then? If they would have been in the vault or not on the outside. Really. So.
This is what I totally agree. I totally was thinking the other day. I thought if he couldn't get in, you look at Stare when he uses, you've got like Sexy Dancer, Kiss, and you think, well, did he have them somewhere else? I mean, did he just rip them off like
This he could have just got his assistant to get a locksmith. He just come down out of the vault.
He just started piling it up to the next room. I don't say, but that means how much did he couldn't really pull out stuff from the vault for that period.
Pull out what he wanted. Yeah, exactly. So to me, maybe he forgot it once or something and then got it reopened and then it filled up, so then he had to start stocking it on the outside room. I don't know.
I don't know, it's very strange. I mean, like I say, I suppose there are other ways you can get the kind of already released stuff, probably from you just
maybe he had it all backed up digitally. Who knows?
Yeah, he just went and got a CD and just went to stuff it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting one. Anyway, thanks for the question.
I always think, on one hand, you think, how could he forget? But then again, I know how many passwords I forget for things, and I think, well, maybe he changed it all the time. Maybe when employees left, I don't know, but maybe when employees left,
I wonder if he actually went up to it and put in what.
It's like, you imagine that moment where you get there and you think, if you change it all the time, maybe he did forget. But then, like I say, it's very strange that he didn't just get someone to
sort it out.
But
that does make sense. But there you go.
But I still believe it because I mean, just because obviously they've said that in the interviews in a sense, Prince, maybe he just didn't. There's who knows?
It's odd, isn't it? It's a very odd one.
But then the argument is, if the room next to the vault has got loads of vault recordings in it, then that's also the vault.
Yeah, and who knows what era they're from? So incredible, absolutely incredible. So so we get up to where were we? So originals, as I say, is when I think it started to improve. And then what came after originals? It was 1999 Deluxe, was it? I'm trying to think. There was something else.
Obviously, we had the record day that I said the Majesty's Pop Live Versace. We've got the 1999 Deluxe, which obviously was that was probably that was the first. I mean, I know we had Purple Rain Deluxe, but like I say, 1999.
No, I was just going to say, of course, we had reissues as well, didn't we? Yeah, stuff from Purple Vinyl, we had One Night Alone live.
Yes, and that was good getting that whole box set. Oh,
yeah. So
I mean, I know you love that era.
Oh yeah.
But we also had obviously Planet Earth 3121, sort of, you know, the vinyl re-release, and probably most sought after, just to sort of stop the mad prices, was the Rainbow Children on vinyl.
That was good. That was
yes.
Good. To get that on vinyl was yes.
But yes,
a bit right, but yeah.
yeah, but
a lovely rainbow slip mat as well with that.
Oh yes, I get, and that was one of the important things as well. Getting, because Prince didn't have, you know, just one record label or whatever. Getting those albums out there so people can actually hear them is really important, because it's all one. You know, it's well and good talking about the vault and everything like that, but you have to get all his albums out there. For a long time, if you wanted the Rainbow Children on vinyl, it cost you, you know, a lot of money. And for a long time, trying to get hold of albums like, you know, I mean, on like Slaughterhouse and Chocolate Invasion and like I say, even The One Night Alone, just getting hold of it, you'd have to buy the big box and it cost a fortune. So I think, you know, I really think it's important to get all that stuff so everybody can enjoy it. Obviously, Prince wasn't, you know, a big fan of like streaming sites and things like that, but I think obviously the estate, as we've always said, has a bit of a disadvantage, because obviously, aside from the tax bills and aside from all the 45 million on legal costs and various administration things and all that, the thing is, Prince's live shows brought in millions and millions and millions of pounds, and he could do a tour like Musicology or 21 Nights to bring in 20-30 million pounds. So I think it's you know, they don't have that, so they have to look at ways to monetize, which perhaps Prince, you know, wouldn't necessarily do. So it will inevitably be different, because, you know, also they've got to keep Paisley running. But yeah, I'm quite happy for them to, you know, get everything that Prince has already released out there, because obviously Prince had already released it. So yeah.
Exactly. Hi Michelle. She's just saying hello.
Hi Michelle.
Yeah, I mean, so it's interesting. So on one hand, you know, we've had vault releases, and on the other hand, we've had reissues. So as I say, when you look at it, I know we complain. So, oh, it's been ages since we've had a release. There has been quite a lot, actually, when you start to look at it. You know, look back. As I say, there was Emancipation released on vinyl.
Emancipation, yes, Emancipation.
You know, That Dance was reissued. I think it was a 12-inch, wasn't it, for Record Store Day as well. So there's been quite a lot, actually, when you think about it. I
think that's nice to have that balance as well of deluxe sets, you know, re-released vinyls or various other things. You know, having little projects, because you can put out a song out there. Perhaps there's a song which is not connected to any. Oh, we forget also, Nothing Compares to You.
Of course.
Nothing Compares to You. Obviously, the sort of, you know, the video sort of clips of Prince rehearsing that came out. We also should remember I Feel For You, the original acoustic.
Well. Yeah.
So I mean, when you start to put all those things together, I suppose, like you say, that's quite a lot, and you can space them out, because if you release a Nothing Compares to You, or you release a I Feel For You, you know, you can afford that most of between the big sets, because they're like just one little single or video or whatever, so you can kind of have that without, you know, breaking the bank. So it won't be like every release is going to be 150 quid or whatever. I say quid, probably most people in America going, what's a quid? It's a pound. Pounds. But yeah, it's you know, they're not all going to be those expensive sets. But the one thing I think is encouraging me most about Welcome to America as well is that the Blu-ray. Well, I prefer DVD, but I'm old. But the Blu-ray, but also just having the live performance, because we've always talked that Prince's live performance in these concerts, that's the one area that I think is really lacking in the sense of what's released. You haven't got, you know, obviously Piano Microphone, you haven't got the London O2 shows, you haven't got the Hit and Run shows, you haven't got an official full-length Diamonds and Pearls. You've got the Diamonds and Pearls compilation video, but not the full-length concert. You haven't got Act 1, you haven't got the live experience, and on and on and on. And I think at least having this out there to show Prince's concerts, because Prince's concerts were huge. You think of Musicology, you think of you know, 2007, he was packing the houses. He was selling out, you know, concerts throughout his career, and I really want people to see his live performance, because that just isn't shown enough, you know. And Prince filmed practically everything, and we know the quality of the 2014 or the 2007. So let's, you know.
Well, there's two good things about this. You say, well, not for you, but one is it's on Blu-ray.
I've got to buy a Blu-ray player.
A Blu-ray is a better quality, but sometimes it's nice if you can have both. But obviously, that's going to cost. and two, it's finally a concert that unless you actually went to, not many people have seen, or a tour that not many people have seen. So, which is great. It's not the same old Syracuse again, or Sign of the Times again. As much as they're brilliant, they've been reissued so many times. In fact, the funny one, they haven't done Love Sexy reissue yet of that, but that needs to be on a DVD or a Blu-ray.
Oh, definitely.
It really does. But yeah, to have a new one, I mean, we've all seen clips and bits of that tour, obviously on YouTube or whatever, when we, put up. It looks very similar to the London O2 shows in format and what have you. But interestingly, it looks like there was a way more cover versions on this tour.
That's interesting as well. But to put that on the Blu-ray, because presumably, obviously, if you put someone else's tracks on the Blu-ray, you're going to have to pay the royalties and sort all that out. So it's interesting that they chose to put those covers in there, because obviously they're an important part of the show. But they could have easily thought, well, we don't want to give money away to other artists and whatever. We're going to keep it for ourselves, but they didn't. So that's an interesting thing that they did there.
Yeah, definitely.
Michelle's talking about what everyone is doing on the 21st.
Well, that's another yes.
Yes.
Good question.
I've decided to embrace misery by I've got like an hour-long dentist appointment. So I thought I'd really embrace I thought my day's not going to be great, so let's just go full on. And I'm going to walk in the park actually afterwards and listen to Prince. I'm actually thinking of probably playing the piano and microphone 2016. Lighting a candle and kind of putting some lights on and just raising a glass to Prince. And I think the piano microphone is a good kind of emotional way to kind of to think of him. But then also I may after that play something more uplifting.
More uplifting. You're going to the dentist. I'm having my COVID jab.
We know how to live, don't we? We know how to live.
We're going to suffer in pain. We're going to be in pain.
Oh dear.
Not only have I had COVID, now I'm going to have the jab as well. So,
blimey. I mean, it's going to be. I think we said, didn't we? 5 years is really 5 years and 10 years are the kind of, in a sense, the big milestones. And I can't believe it's 5 years. I still remember. We all remember where we were and when we heard, and we were all kind of experiencing it in a different way. Someone who's been there, certainly for me since I was 14, and just having that moment when he's not there, you always assumed he'd be there. I assumed he'd be 95 and bashing on the piano and doing stuff. And I really think that to have that 5 years. I still remember I was on the beach. I was on holiday when I found out, and I was in absolute denial, didn't believe it, because there'd been rumors and various things before, and TMZ and whatever. I've come to the position now where I think he left us so much, in a sense, more than any other artist could leave us, and he's left us so many of these gifts. And it sounds really silly, but it's like if someone passes away and you keep finding notes from them, but in this case we keep finding presents, we keep finding albums, we keep finding songs, we keep finding concerts, and we keep having these things. And it's like Prince has left us all these things. How he achieved what he achieved in one lifetime, I don't comprehend. I really don't. I mean, we don't even know how much more there is. I mean, they're talking about thousands and thousands.
It should be, yeah.
I mean, that's. I think he left us so much. I'm kind of. I think of all the joy he has brought, and he would want us to obviously enjoy that and feel that music, and the fact that people appreciate him just as much and even more, means a great deal. But I think it's weird because it's sadness, but then it's also comforting to know his music is always there, and you can always listen to it, and it's always connects you and hit. And there's that moment when it hits you, like I don't know, you could be at a concert, or you can just hear Purple Rain, or you can just hear any track, and it will just hit you like Power Fantastic or something, and you can't describe that.
Yeah, you still get those days, where it just suddenly hits you again, and you're like, is it ever going to end or go away? I don't think it ever will, to be honest. It just does. And like you say, the other day as well, it's like hearing that Welcome to America track. I've never heard before. It's like he could have still been here. It was like
that felt like a single. The old days when you used to get excited and go, and Prince has dropped a new single, and he wouldn't tell you. He would just like boom, and it come out, and you'd be like,
and he's saying things that are so right on time now as well, and he sounds so cool. His voice sounds so cool, and it's just like the bass on it. I was like, oh, this is just heaven.
That's really intriguing as to why he didn't release that. I know, like I say, 2010 had a kind of mixed reception. I'm just surprised in a sense because he toured with, a number of the tracks and stuff like that. But he obviously felt that, going with it out, perhaps he couldn't get the deal they said, that he wanted or whatever. But I find it really interesting how, like I say, he just sounds so fresh. This could come out today and it would still be absolutely, there. And it feels like a fresh new Prince single, So it's like,
it does. Absolutely, absolutely. But while we're talking about the Welcome to America, might as well say about, obviously there's been a lot of controversy about its price, shall we say, and trying to get hold of it. It's just been ridiculous, hasn't it? So in America, it's around about $90. How much is it?
It's like $99, I think, roughly in America. Yeah.
But roughly around in the UK, it's sort of 150 in some places, isn't it?
Was it 150 quid, which is about $205, I think, just over $200. So it's $99 in America, but over 200 in the UK.
And it's nowhere near as much material as Sign of the Times.
It's very odd because for me, it's all about the Blu-ray in the album. And that's the things I'm really kind of intrigued to get. And I don't necessarily need, I think it'd be nice to have an option of the Blu-ray in the album. Though I think there is a Japanese option, isn't there? Yeah. But I suppose they want you to get the deluxe set, but then I still don't know why. Like I say, if you're in the UK, you're paying $205 because we want everybody to have this. I suppose you can buy the album on its own and whatever. But if you want the Blu-ray, it's concerning because it shouldn't be twice as much. It should be the same. I think if it kept in line with the American prices, $99, which I think is probably about 70-80 pounds. I'm not sure, something like that. But that's a lot of money. Obviously, $205 dollars. But we're hoping that will change. I've ordered mine from France.
France.
We'll let you know if that works out or not. But France was about half the price, wasn't it? France was about half the price. So I don't know.
Yes, Amazon France. Is it even listed yet on Amazon UK? Because it just kept always saying it wasn't available yet. Or
I think it's on there. Well, it was on there yesterday or the day before. 150 pounds. Yeah, but
outrageous.
Tony Delta Blues, one of my best friends, died last year, just around the time Prince died 5 years ago. As a double grief. Oh, that was just awful to have that compounded. I can't, because you just don't forget. I know there's I don't know if I should mention it. There's obviously a dear friend of ours, and he it was his anniversary on the day that Prince passed, his wedding anniversary, and like I say, it just hits so many people in so many different ways, and sometimes it hits you out of the blue. I think it's some people found out, I think, when they were at work, and some people literally somebody burst in the office and said, "Oh, have you heard?" or whatever, and it must just be. I mean, there's no.
Totally, I sympathise because I lost my father-in-law in April before Prince died, about a year or two before. But so it's always like a double thing, and then in April, so it's not a happy month.
No.
It's like, can I just skip to May, please?
Just because you don't want to get a birthday card for me, that's just cheeky.
It's the Night Child's birthday soon, folks.
But I mean that sort of is in the same week as so that's But it's a hard thing. I mean, I don't know how. If you'd have said to me how would I be feeling 5 years on, I don't know if I could have. I don't know if I could have really said. We've been through a lot actually.
We have. So generally, I mean, on a general feel, I mean, how would we rate how the estate are doing, and what do you all think? Come on, let's get some comments up. What do you all think? Are you happy? Is it going in the right direction? I mean, compared to other estates, you could say Michael Jackson, for instance. I think there's been 2 releases since he died, isn't there, or something? Or I think there was Escape or something. And there was another one, and then there was a controversy where they didn't even use his voice, didn't they? They used someone else, or trying to sound like him and finish tracks, and and you think, Jesus.
That's the thing. Who do you compare?
Who do you compare
Prince to? And obviously, you've got the fact that there's still ongoing issues with the music. I mean, from what we've heard, they've made a bit of a step towards solving the most beautiful girl in the world dilemma. I think it's sort of moved forward a bit. It's not, all the details don't seem to be sorted out, but it's kind of moved forward a bit. But I know once they're paid the tax off, then they said, that should be pretty much, there. But like you say, you've got this. It's strange because some estates have the idea and they say, right, this is our plan, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Whereas the Prince Estate, obviously, it's very much project to project. They'll release a project, then they'll start. They'll have another project, and they won't necessarily be in a particular order. There was an argument originally that they were going to go for what sold the best. Obviously, they went for Purple Rain 1999, and there's still talk, wasn't there, about Diamonds and Pearls. Possibly having a deluxe version. Some people saying that that's going to be put off now. Some people saying no, it's going to happen sort of around November, sort of Black Friday kind of time, like just before Christmas. But I don't know. I think the one thing I would say about the estate is, I think if you compare, it's pretty unfair, but if you compare Piano Microphone to 1999 Deluxe or Sign of Times, then clearly they've moved forward a great deal, and that's good. And also, Welcome to America is the first kind of fresh album. I mean, in a sense, the Piano Microphone wasn't meant as an album. So I mean, that's the first fresh album. So I mean, that's good to get a fully kind of an album that Prince had basically ready to go, didn't he? I mean, largely,
which is really good. It's not something they're cobbling together. It's something that Prince had actually worked on, finished, and put in the can. So
I think that's going to be a problem, actually, not a problem, but an issue going forward, in that you can release deluxe versions and you can release unreleased albums, but there's some things that, how do you group them together to make if you've got these disparate songs, how do you pull them together? I mean, there might be a case of you do an MPG music club and say, like, you will put these tracks out there. It might be a case of we'll release these tracks individually. But I mean, some people are kind of keen to have an MPG music club, a kind of, like a subscription thing. But this is interesting. I mean, I suppose it depends on how you feel about how much you want to buy every year. I mean, some people are happy to have, a new Prince project every 2 or 3 months. Some people kind of want a gap. I think the key thing is to mix them up. I think mix them up. I think have a deluxe album, have a reissue, have a single, have a video.
Yeah, but some projects, like some of the times, you need the time to digest that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want something coming out 2 or 3 months after that. I don't feel. I think you need a good 6 months to digest all that material and to get really deep into it.
I still haven't. I
haven't still got right. So so interesting. Just seeing comments about the estate here. We've got Bowie Estate. So Danny saying that the Bowie reissues have been good. Bowie Estate is right on.
I think that's a good comparison. You think of a Bowie, or you think of I don't know, possibly I suppose Barry's probably one of the closer comparisons. Yeah.
Mixed feelings. They have done some great things and some terrible things. Some of the times SD was incredible. Banging Extra Lovable was unforgivable. Banning Extra Lovable was unforgivable. Yeah. Vault Creator. J Crash, you're probably going to get Diamonds and Pearls and then Musicology, since those albums were high profile moments. Yeah. Definitely. 2 best selling, I think Diamonds and Pearls is in the top 3 probably, isn't it? So,
yeah, I mean, it was obviously that point where Prince wanted to prove he could sell 5 million to get his $100 million dollar contract. I think Diamonds and Pearls would, like say, and Musicology was a huge tour. But then I would argue 21 Nights in London was pretty good.
Absolutely. Michelle, I just want everything. It's going in the right direction. Get Wild 24, Artful. They're doing okay, but they could do more. They should have a Prince Memorial outdoors. Well, they've got the symbol at Paisley Park, haven't they, outside now? Surrounded by willow trees and flowers and benches for people to sit and contemplate and pay. That's
a nice idea, actually, Artful. That's a nice idea of having something like a quiet space, because sometimes you go to different places, they have little sort of almost a memorial garden, like a kind of somewhere you could just sit and be alone with your thoughts. And I think that's a nice. And they've got the land at Paisley, and if it's done in a kind of a tasteful way, then I mean, you could get people. You could get, and some people, you could make it a sensory garden. for kids
That's
or
a nice
people
idea.
with you can actually have different smelling things in lavender, obviously. That'd be quite good. Nightchild has ordered the purple trench coat for his birthday. Look well cool in the oldie.
How do you know shops in Aldi?
The secret is I last did a supermarket shop in my 20s. That's really bad. I have everything delivered. I'm so lazy. But the purple trench coat. Imagine that look, just rocking downtown with your purple trench coat.
I remember a guy wearing one of those at the Autism Rocks thing. I think it was. He had a purple trench coat on.
Who did?
Some guy who was just wearing
not me.
Some guy had a purple trench coat. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, the whole shebang was. Yeah.
Wow. I would. Well, I mean, that would be actually. Whatever happened to those? They brought out those that set, didn't they? Those clothes you could buy. They were thousands of pounds. Like
yes, they did. Yes.
They bought them out too. I mean, we should talk about.
That was 1999, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we should also talk about, I suppose, the merchandise. What do you think about that? I mean, in terms of, in terms of t-shirts, jewelry, you name it. They've brought out some more t-shirts. Obviously, Rockapall have got some more in today, haven't they?
Yes, there's a MPL Sound t-shirt and hoodie and Love Symbol album, isn't it? T-shirt hoodie. Yeah. They've got some exclusive deal with the estate, apparently. So,
I had Nightchild down as a Waitrose guy. I think I'd probably get. I imagine I'd get banned from Waitrose. I don't know. Isn't that the place where you get free coffee? That sounds nice.
Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah. Well, mind you, we just had some anniversary for Costa in this country. It was 50p for 2 days for a coffee. My wife was buzzing for 2 days. She drank so much coffee. It's 50p. Small things.
Release all the Vault tracks. Get Well 24 says release all the Vault tracks on a new version NPG MC, and you can either download them as a zip file or pick the tracks you want. Do you know what? That's the thing about. I think there's going to be lots of tracks which don't necessarily fit into a project, and I think the NPG Music Club would be a great way of doing that. And you can get that regular subscription. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's issues because I suppose there's a thing once it's out there, it will just get shared to an extent, but there might be things they could do around there. But I think some people would be interested in saying, I'll pay a monthly fee and I'll get, access to such and such, and concerts or things. I think that's a good way of getting the kind of, a loyal. If you get loads of people paying whatever you pay per month, that's a good income, and that allows them to get these tracks out there with the minimum of fuss, because you can release a digital file. That doesn't cost the estate really very much at all.
No.
And you could charge it, say, here's a new song for you this week, or here's a remastered video, or here's a video from the vault, or whatever. Even the one you want to see, obviously they had the video, but I don't think just having it full quality and a full length video, stuff like that would be
Well, it'd be interesting to see whether they would know what eras they're recorded from, or whether when they've archived it all. So they could release it that way. You might have specifically, some Third Eye Girl era stuff, some, whatever MPG era stuff, Revolution, whatever. They're not maybe more. There could be tracks that are going to be on albums, but probably all are, aren't they? They're going to be on some project, but maybe they could group them together in those time spaces. I don't know. That's something.
I think you want to make every option open, almost to every people. So however you want to buy your music.
Yeah,
some way you can do that. Like say, if you want CDs, if you want vinyl, if you want streaming or download, if you want, it's like this Blu-ray. Obviously I didn't have a Blu-ray player, so I'm buying a Blu-ray player specifically for this. But it would be nice, I suppose, in a sense, if you want, a DVD version, or even if you wanted to pay for a download. I think you should open as many doors as possible. You don't want to put anybody off, because there might be some people who'd be interested in print, but they don't want to. Spend huge amounts of money before. So I think that would be.
Wild makes a good point. It's the way to get younger fans on board. They won't buy CDs or vinyl, which is very true. A lot of young people aren't interested in the physical format, which is very, very sad, to be honest. Because
you should probably rephrase that comment. I think.
Well, yes, but when the plug gets pulled, you ain't got nothing. You know, you got to have, you know, if you've got the copy, you know, don't matter what happens in the cloud.
Are you admitting now? Are you saying you're no longer a young person? Is this your claim?
Oh dear. Oh, I'm getting old. It's not fair. Oh, Velvet Vicky Waiting. Hello. Hi, you two. It's Vicky Waiting. Haven't seen you for so long. Good to see you. Yeah, we haven't seen you for ages. How are you? I hope you're well. Hope you're doing good. Thanks for coming on.
There was a comment earlier, and I trying to find out who said it. They were talking and made a really good point. I think Jay Crash. I want my super deluxe version of Dirty Mind. The thing is, there's an argument that you know, the way they're moving, you know, are they going to ever get to the earlier albums? Are they ever going to sort of go back and do a Dirty Mind or a Controversy, you know, set? Because, like I say, I don't know if we should have, you know, some people say there should be a plan and say, look, this is what we're doing for the next 2 or 3 years, so everybody knows. But then some people say, oh, it's better to have the excitement like Prince did, where you didn't know what was coming, and then bang, you've got Artificial Age and Plectrum Electrum or whatever. And I think obviously it's difficult to, you know, at the moment there's not I can't really work out that there's a strict plan per se. I think it's just literally project by project. I mean, obviously they went for the, you know, the Purple Rain in 1999, but it doesn't seem to. It's not a linear, you know, way. So
there's never any talk, as you say, those first 4 albums, is there? So or 3, well, yeah, 3 or 4, yeah, up to Controversy, yeah. It's always 1999, Purple Rain, Parade, Diamonds and Pearls.
Love Sexy as well. I mean, the Love Sexy Black Album mix.
Yeah, what about that? Yeah, exactly. Some of the times, you know, that one, it's always that, you know, but they miss out on certain ones, and you go, well, you know, what about that? As you say, you know, there's Love Sexy Black Album would be immense, and they could add finally a DVD copy of the Love Sexy tour, you know, an official release of, like, you know, the one of those after shows, you know, that everyone knows that one.
The Love Sexy show is still one of the greatest. I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I know they said that, you know, COVID has kind of caused some problems, but then I suppose in terms of buying deluxe packages, you can still do all that. You know, you can still get that largely done. But I think you need to have something fairly regularly, even if it's not a big thing. Even if you're saying, look, you know, this month we're going to release a couple of tracks. This month we're going to release. Prince is supposed to have filmed loads and loads of music videos and just put them on the vault and never released them, and just to see some of them and films. I mean, you know, just to do that. Do you know what, even if they officially released a rehearsal, because the argument is that these rehearsals get bootlegged anyway. Why not, if you're the estate, say, well, we'll release them officially, we'll put them on a website, you pay us a little bit of money, and you know, we get some of that bootleg money.
Exactly. It's very true. Velvet Vicky Waiting. Yeah, it's been so long. I think we were talking about Prince's Friend last time we spoke. Okay, I've been shielding for 16 months. I got a bit down, to be honest. Oh, I know. My son was shielding last year, so yeah, it was difficult. Yeah, hard times.
We're hoping that it'll
will be on its. Yeah,
we're starting to see, hopefully, the
return of some sort of normality. Yeah.
We're tentatively seeing a few concerts. Oh, Judith Hill, obviously, as well.
Yes, we're going to see her in October. Get your tickets, people. Go if you're in London in October. Yeah, come and say hi. It'd be a good night. Sash, hey guys from Bournemouth. Oh, hiya. Get Wild. I agree. That is a market for super deluxe and a market for more basic re-release. Yeah, as you say, it's maddening sometimes that you can't get the version that you want, or you have to have everything, you know, as you said with some of these super deluxe versions. You don't want 7-inch edits and some of these mono edits, you know. It's like, really, you know, why can't I just get the vault tracks and the album? Or, you know, there's never enough options, is there?
It's difficult, I suppose, because on one hand, if you're the estate, what do? Do you say we're gonna go for the wide appeal, like a Purple Rain Deluxe or 1999, the things that people have heard of, or do you go for the kind of hardcore fans who are willing to pay 150 quid for a deluxe set? But because it's interesting, because Welcome America, I tell you, the one thing I've noticed about that is the promotion side of it. They obviously had the 60 minutes thing. It's been, you know, lots of my feed. I've had when I've actually watched some of your YouTube videos, they put an advert for Welcome to America before your video. So I'm saying they're really pushing that kind of, they're really promoting it. Their promotion, I think, is getting better. And I know they're advertising, I think, or they were advertising for like social media managers and things like that. And I think that's really interesting because it's also about promoting and creating this buzz. And when people say, "Oh God, there's a new Prince album," that's good to get those interviews, because it doesn't cost anything to get interviewed by 60 Minutes or whatever, but it reaches a mass appeal. I'd also say we talked about that as well. Obviously, the truth, as Danny has pointed out.
Danny, I was just going to mention that. Go on.
As Record Store Day, the truth on vinyl, and that's brilliant because they said only Prince would hide an acoustic album as basically like an extra, on the Crystal Ball set, and most people would have released that as a standalone thing. So I think people are going to be surprised. People who don't know Prince hugely are going to be surprised.
It's really frustrating, that release, isn't it? Because it's so limited, 13,000 copies of it, and it should be a proper reissuing of the catalogue, So because it's going to be very difficult to get hold of, and then it's just going to go. It's going to get scalped, isn't it? Because you're going to be paying ridiculous money on eBay for it. So,
well, some people will go in and buy. Somehow they seem to find a way to buy.
Record Store Day. Not everybody lives near a store that's going to stock it. That's the other thing. Even some of the major releases, they're hard to come by. Even HMV don't stock that many of the super deluxes and things like that, so it's difficult to get. So they're hard to come by, those ones. So
I think in my town, pretty much HMV is all that's left. That's all there is. The guy on the right, I think that's me. Am I the guy on the right? I'm the guy on the right.
Oh, you're the guy on the right. Depends where you're looking at it.
I suppose it does. Well,
on my screen.
It actually doesn't make any difference because we both got into Prince in the same album. So Batman, 1989. I was 14 and I heard Batman, and you must have been almost the same age, weren't you, Nirav?
15, yeah.
15, and I heard Bat Dance, and I heard I Feel For You, Shaka Khan, before, but I didn't know it was Prince. And then I heard Bat Dance, and that was it. And the next day I went out and I went to the Blockbuster video store, got everything I could, got Sign of the Times, Love Sexy, Under the Cherry Moon, whatever I could. And it was just from that moment I was really lucky because very early on a friend of my mother's had he had his partner had a huge Prince collection and basically recorded everything for me. I bought it all officially afterwards, but he recorded everything for me and gave it to me all on cassette. But the thing is, he didn't put the dates on it, so I kind of had to work out where I thought everything went, and I couldn't quite work out where Parade went. I didn't really understand. I think I got controversy, but having that moment and from that moment on, I had those posters, the Love Sexy ones, on my wall when I was a teenager, and from that moment on, it was just it was just the best ride in the world. Oh no, hold on, someone's mentioned your cloud guitar. Oh god.
That's what I was laughing. Oh, Toby Delta, please. I have to pick my daughter up from a friend's house. Good to hear from you all. I'll see you soon. And then he said, the guy on the left has a cloud guitar.
He doesn't mention it much.
He never mentions it much, does he? I don't mention it.
Velvet Ricky Waiting, Girls and Boys, Parade for me, but I was 14 too. Went out that weekend. I bought everything I could on vinyl. Oh wow! I mean, that's quite a way to get into a Parade. That's quite a way to get into. Wow!
I started like you, as you said, with the Batman. That's because, and it was Bat Dance, but again, I was fascinated with the movie. I grew up with the 60s show. Loved that. Yeah. And then I wanted to see the movie, and I just fell in love with the movie, adored everything with it, and with that came Prince. It's just incredible. And then I think it was the following year, or after that, sorry, no, before that, thinking what way I went with albums. I think it was Purple Rain, 1999, and then Graffiti Bridge and Love Sexy I borrowed off of a girlfriend that I was seeing at the time.
I hope that wasn't the only reason.
I saw these cassettes in their bedroom. Oh, Graffiti Bridge, Love Sexy, I'll have those. Wow. Yeah. So and then I went back to the early ones in. I think I've got For You, Prince, Dirty Mind. Yeah.
God. I still remember controversy. I remember controversy very strongly. I don't know why, but yeah, I think it's controversy. I think it sounds so amazing still to this day. It really does. Yeah. But it's just God. It's been quite a journey though. I mean, we've been. It has. It's weird because we sort of I think we've been at concerts and various things and just probably probably meters away from each other and just never knew each other.
It's incredible. Well, this is the modern age of social media, isn't it? Where it brings people together. That's the good side of social media. With Facebook and Twitter and things like that, you get to be in contact with people you never would have met otherwise. So
that's a really good point, actually, and that's the thing we were talking about before that we've missed the most. We used to have meetups and there'd be gigs and concerts, but also Prince parties where we just go and all the Prince people would go to a party, play Prince music, have a DJ or whatever, and just to kind of do that. And when Prince passed, that was really important, and that's something I really miss because I think we need it more now than ever. Just be able to all get together to laugh and talk about Prince and keep Prince alive. After Prince passed, I went on this Prince boat party. It was a 2-day thing, and sort of had a DJ and then the boat party. And I just think to be able to talk to people about Prince and to think about Prince, and I think having those parties and get-togethers, especially after obviously the last year we've had, I think we just it would be really, really good just to get, because people being brought together. This is the thing, is that how many people have been brought together because of Prince? Have nothing else in common, come from different countries, different ideas, everything different, but they that one guy,
that one thing in common that brings them together. It's incredible, isn't it?
Because I was when I was at school, I was the only Prince guy kind of I knew, and it felt very much you experienced things differently because you heard the album but you only heard it yourself. I didn't particularly read reviews other than reviews of a single that was at the time, and there was no internet, so you formed your own opinions, but then you kind of experience it on your own. But then you get out there and social media and you see there's a whole world of of Prince people, and he has always, that's the one thing I think above all things, he brought so many people together who wouldn't otherwise have met.
Absolutely. And
sorry, I shouldn't laugh. Sorry, Jay Crash has asked about Camden. This is your special subject.
Oh God, mastermind about this subject.
Yes.
There's this girl on my channel and watch the video. I made a video about the shop. Yeah, I love that place. Went there many a time.
It was supposed to be at work, probably, but
especially at work, because sometimes I used to work around London back then, and I used to get sent to Chalk Farm, which is just around the corner. So I used to go for extra long lunches in the shop and spend 2 hours there chatting to the lady who ran it, the manager, and trying on tour jackets and just breathing it all in. I lost count the amount of times I went there and the amount of stuff I bought from that shop. It was a special place to me, and I was so sad when I went back there a few years ago, and it's now a bloody restaurant chicken place. Oh my God! And we still want to know. And apparently Violet Reality he's never shared it with me, where the vault is in the floor. What happened to it? I want to know what happened to it. Where did it go? That capsule that had stuff in it, what was in it? Has any of the stuff that was in it ever actually been released in the end? Did Prince, what happened to it? Who knows? No idea.
Yeah, you actually went in, didn't you? You went into the restaurant.
I went in, had a little sneak around, yeah. But I couldn't see where.
Start digging up the floor.
Where's the vault? What's this guy doing? Yeah, where's the vault? Yeah.
Oh, a big hello to Purple Music Prince Piano Club.
Oh, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Yeah.
He's doing the greatest romance. You should definitely subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's Purple Music Prince Piano Covers. The greatest romance ever sold.
You don't give lessons, do you? Because I've just recently bought a keyboard a couple of weeks ago. So I'm trying to extend my musical knowledge. So play guitar a little bit now. I want to play keyboards as well. So
plus you're getting funky now. You're going to be like
start my own band. I don't think so. Oh dear.
No, Purple Music. I am. Can't wait for Greatest Romance.
Yeah.
I walked down the aisle to that song. So that song is everything, and he does such beautiful versions of it. The melody. It makes you realise how amazing music work. I enjoy Purple Music Prince piano covers even more than the symphony we went to. Even more.
Well, there you go. High praise indeed. Just going to rewind it back a little bit before we went all that. When you were talking about the get-togethers and the parties, when we went to that interesting book launch, we had a chat with
it was interesting
guy with Prince Party, didn't we?
Lee,
Prince Party UK, and we had a good conversation about how we could have a Prince Con, like you have Comic Con, that'd be so cool, wouldn't it? Have a Prince con where people could come together and trade stuff or sell merch and just talk and and have a whole event. That'd be really cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it's really important because we've been through so much, and also it just really keeps it alive, and everybody comes together and they just have and it can happen, obviously in America, the UK, Holland, France, Belgium, you name it, just to have these meetups to get together and talk about Prince and keep that alive, because we obviously do so much on social media now, but just to be able to meet up, and do you know what, sometimes just to dance and listen to music and listen to Prince's music and just let go and just
because one of
the moment,
I was just going to say, because one of the best things I've seen, and I think you experienced this as well on the night you went, when we went to the Autism Rocks gig. They had Mark Ronson, I think the DJ, didn't they, play?
Yeah.
And I thought, Mark Ronson, and he come on after all the acts. We'd seen Larry Graham, we'd seen The Time, which is obviously awesome. Anyway, he comes on and he starts playing Prince tunes, and they've taken obviously all the seats out of the front, so it's just a big floor, isn't it? And everybody was grooving like I've never seen, and I just stood, looked around, looked up, looked round, and see everybody just funking at Alphabet Street and Get Off and stuff. And it was a real moment. It was almost lump in my throat, but it was just pure joy, and to see so many people grooving at the same time with Prince's music was incredible.
It was really strange for me because it sounds mad, because of the night we had, obviously, like I say, we had Larry Graham, The Time, CeeLo Green, Mark Ronson, and Mark Ronson was the one thing I didn't really think that much about when I first heard. I was like, okay, I didn't really. It was right at the end, and I was standing right at the front of the concert. And obviously, when they started playing the DJ set, I just turned around so I could see everybody. And like you say, everybody was dancing. And at that moment, I thought, this is because this is the first thing of the night, which is actually Prince singing. Obviously, there was Prince about things, but this is actually Prince's work, and it's making all these people dance and sing, and it just brought so many people such happiness. And looking at that, it did actually make me there's a few moments like that. We did have that with I think it was the Albert Hall when they sort of, you see the mobile phones in the air, or there are certain moments which just give you that feeling. And I think that moment, seeing everybody happy and dancing to Prince and him bringing so much joy, it's like when they all everybody got outside First Avenue when Prince passed. It was just that moment when he really brought people together, and you realise how lucky we were to I mean, I could have got into an artist who, like, I don't know, did one album and then when he did cookery shows or something, I don't know. Whatever. I mean,
you could have got into Robbie Williams.
I was just so lucky that I was so lucky to choose well. Choose very well.
Oh, Jake, loved your video about Prince and icons of our times. Oh, bless you, Jake. Thank you. Yeah, that was a good one. I enjoyed doing that. It was. I just wanted to get out there,
Never mind the estate. I think. Never mind the estate. I think you're getting better.
Oh, bless you.
He's on fire at the moment.
Is the orchestra still going? No, I don't believe. I think it's finished. I think that's finished.
Yeah, it was a strange wing because I don't think it was like an orchestra, was it? It was like, I think each city they played in, they used local musicians, like whether in London or wherever. Right. Yeah, different every time. I think
different every time. Yeah, fascinating. It was who was it who put it together? It was what's his name?
Questlove, wasn't it?
Questlove, wasn't it? Yeah, Questlove. Yeah.
I mean, there was a focus. It was very focused, sort of 80s. A lot of parade stuff, because that fits really well with the symphony, like Venus de Milo and stuff like that. Obviously, the London one was unique because Mr. Ant was screaming at the top of his voice, singing all the lyrics, so that obviously made it a different experience. But actually,
I was crying at the top of my.
Didn't you have Prince at your wedding?
Me? Yeah. Loads.
Yeah, Mr. Ant had Prince at his wedding too. You had. Did you have Saviour?
Saviour.
Yeah. Wow.
I did.
I'm having Let's Go Crazy at my funeral, the extended version. I want the full extended version. I don't. That's all I've got in my will.
Yeah, I might have head. It'd be really shocking on purpose.
You'll be banned.
I will be banned. They would be able to play it. Yeah. Oh dear.
No, I know you had. I know you had Saviour was great though. Saviour's a true romantic, song.
Yeah, although I had to tell the DJ not to play the whole track because it's about 8 minutes, whatever it is. I said that'd be a very long first dance and people get bored. So I said, when it gets to the guitar solo, just fade it out.
Then he followed that up with Sexy MF, and that was great.
I did have Sexy MF.
You're kidding.
Not first dance, but it was playing on the playlist. Sexy MF was on the playlist. I Would Die For You was on the Baby I'm a Star was on the playlist. Party Man was on the playlist. Yeah. So yeah, I loaded them. Yeah.
You had Sexy MF. Did you have the censored version, or do you have the censored version?
No, proper version.
I bet all these parents were like, oh
my god, what's he doing? Why is this bloke? Why has this guy just got married out there sticking the microphone between his legs? Copying the video.
Oh, I actually put the lyrics, The Greatest Romance. I actually incorporated, because we wrote our own lyrics, and I actually incorporated the lyrics into my wife's lyric, my wife's vows to me. And so she had This Is Where You End and You and I Begin in the lyrics. So Prince was a proper kind of part of that. And I think that's, it's just the obvious.
Do you know how my vows started?
Sorry?
My vows started with, I knew a girl named Nikki. I guess
Oh, we were terrible as well, because we walked down the aisle together, hand in hand, and then we didn't tell anybody we were sort of playing Prince until the music came on. We sort of left that as a surprise for them. So it's like,
anyone who knew you said that, no surprise there. Yeah.
Well, yes, I was actually worried, because I was like, it was at a place, a registry office, and you can't have religious songs, but I got away with Greatest Romance, even with the element of it. Danny says, at our wedding, our exit song was "Take Me With You." Well, that's a good start for a wedding. You need to take me with you, otherwise, that's the first thing when you get married. You have to, go with each other.
Absolutely, that's a good choice.
I bet Danny went, "Don't get my seat all wet."
Oh dear! Don't get my seat all wet.
We'd like to say there are some channels that do. We said they were deeply professional, fully researched things, but we're just like, you bumped into us in a pub, and
we're just going to talk Prince. Yeah,
it's what we do to anybody who will listen, really.
Absolutely. We just talk your ears off for hours on end. It's there's so much to talk about, So especially, as you say, these last 5 years, it's just been incredible, really. As I say, actually talking about that, actually events that there has been to go and see. As I say, we've seen, as I say, there was the orchestra, there was the Autism Rocks tribute, there was Revolution. We went to see the Revolution. They toured the MPG. Yes. We've seen the MPG 3 times now, I think, haven't we? I think
MPG.
Yeah, in the UK. We saw Ingrid Chavez. I saw Ida Nielsen. She came and played in a pub, in a function room in a pub. It's been bizarre, yeah. But yeah,
it's actually interesting to see, like say, seeing Ida and seeing the NPG so close up. We saw the NPG that when the first time we saw them in this small club, you could see them getting changed. You could see them getting ready for the concert and hanging outside, and you could just walk up to them and chat to them. And it was weird to see Sonny T and just walk up to people like that. It was just
it was odd, because I still have this vivid memory of Earl's Court, 1992, Diamond huge, great big tour, where they're these people that are untouchable. They're on video. They're on, they live in another country. They're superstars. You can't get near them, And here you are in this little old club somewhere, and they're behind the curtain, just changing their clothes as you're going for a wee. It's like, it was bizarre. Just trying to get your head around that was really weird, but it was a great night.
It was an amazing night. It was the hottest night in the world. It was so hot. I'm
still sweating now.
We were drenched, but it was amazing. It was just such. And then we saw them again at the Indigo, didn't we? And
yes.
They always do well. The MPG, and seeing. I mean, we saw Ingrid Chavez probably about she was about 4 foot away.
Yeah.
We were sitting right at the front, and it was amazing.
She would look you right in the eyes and give you eye contact, and hold it, and it was like really like mesmerizing. You sort of go, "Oh God,"
My mind was going, "Aura."
I know.
She gives you that look. And
sexiness to the left ear, sexiness to the right.
It's so amazing to she's so, you know, to see her there, and she's just so. It's interesting how, as well, she when she performs, it's really, you see how much of herself she gives to it, and it just you know, it was the first concert I think she'd done for a very long time, and you know, it just it's just remarkable from the first days when I got her album May 19th 1992, and then, you know, just to actually imagine seeing her there was just, I mean, and we've got to say that Ida was just, she just, you can't meet a nicer person than Ida Nilsson.
She's lovely, she's so down to earth,
amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
really
Ida was amazing. I when we went to the when I went, she gave me a ticket, and she wouldn't let me pay for any CDs. She come around and hugged me. We you know, she just she would pop out. I was actually going to the ticket office, and she popped out and said, "No, come around." And she's just so humble, I suppose the word is. She's just certain to see her work close up. And she's got a great band, the guitarist as well in that band. Oh, yeah, amazing. But just, you know, she was just so friendly. She's been fantastic to both of us, and she's I hope, you know, Ida start to tour again, sort of, you know, and hopefully she'll make it over to the UK again, because we need some things. We've got we're missing out on the you know, who's touring the Revolution. We were going to see the Revolution, weren't we?
We were last July, and it got cancelled, obviously. But so we got our Scandalous. Well, a track for a wedding. Sash, ours was the Scandalous track. Wow,
Scandalous.
Like the whole
Scandalous, not the Scandalous Sex Suite. I hope not the whole. No. What was track 2? What was track 3? Oh, Scandalous. Oh, Scandalous is an amazing track to.
I love that song. I love that.
Yeah, song. That's a really sensuous song.
Ant's World of Prince and the other guy, Night Child. It's the Night Child. Besides Prince, who else have you all seen live? I've seen Michael Jackson, Madonna, Whitney Houston, Alicia Keys, Lenny Kravitz, Ida Nilsson, Ingrid Chavez, Jean-Michel Jarre, Whitney Houston. I said that one, didn't I? I think that's it. And Prince, multiple times.
Wow, that's quite a lot. That's way more than me.
Well, I kind of wanted to see all the icons, you know, the 80s at the time. So
I'm trying to think who I've seen that isn't Prince related. Honestly,
no one. Yeah, I see Lenny Kravitz twice.
The only person I've ever seen that was not Prince related was at Ipswich Chord Exchange, when I saw Shed 7, because I was going out with this girl who liked Shed 7.
God.
And they did
what was that song they had?
Going for Gold is what they played when I was there. That was their new single. But
wasn't that a quiz show every day?
That was the only time I tried to be cool and act younger than I was, and that didn't go well. But I would say, I'll tell you one thing. I saw Madonna 2002. The same. Yeah, it was the same year as One Night Alone. And we paid like ridiculous, like 60 quid. Now this is a lot of money back then, to see Madonna at Earl's Court in a Drowned World tour. Great show, but it was like an hour and 25 minutes. And like a month or two later, we went to see Prince One Night Alone live at Hammersmith Apollo. He paid £45, and he played for almost 3 hours. Of course, Shepherd's Bush, £10.
Yeah, all right. I'll never live that one down.
Oh, I love that, because we were all expecting to go out 70 quid. And they go, £10.
Yeah, and I sat there umming and ahhing all day. 70 quid. Oh, I haven't got enough money on me at the moment. I don't know if I can afford it, and I didn't go. And then
to be fair, I went back to Coco's and with me and my wife, and that was 70 quid each. So that was 140. People were just handing over cash, like just throwing it at the ticket person. Just take the money.
Just let me in. Yeah, I hung around that night, one of those for a third show, but it didn't happen, so I gave up. So I never got to see those shows.
Queued for about 7 hours or 6 or 7 hours, and I was on my own, so that was kind of like, that was fun. No food, no drink.
Nightmare.
It was worth it.
Yeah. Jay Crash, seeing George Michael live back in 1988, Earl's Court was incredible. Yeah, he was incredible talent. George Michael, amazing singer, amazing voice. So that must have been a good show. Yeah. What tour did you see Whitney? It was 1992 at Earl's Court. So it was just after The Bodyguard, around that time. I can't remember what the tour was called now.
Did you just stay at? Did you just stay at Old Court from the Diamonds and Pearls? You just sort of,
yeah, I just stayed there.
stayed
93. No, it was 93. Sorry, it was a year after. Yeah, year after. Yeah, Prince was 92. I saw Dangerous Tour, Michael Jackson 92. Then Whitney Houston was 93. So yeah, it was just following the bodyguard. And yeah, so she was singing all those big songs. I'll always love you. And what's the other one? I Have Nothing or something. That one. And she even had Bobby Brown come on stage and dance with her. She was singing I Want to Dance with Somebody. Yeah, but she was a powerhouse. She sung live and she was incredible. She told someone off in the crowd, I remember that, because she had to sort of rest in between those big ballads because they take so much. And she was just talking to the audience and chilling. And someone obviously heckled her, and she, said, I can't remember exactly what she said, but like, this is my stage.
It's like Prince with Kim Kardashian. Just get off my stage.
Basically, get off my stage. Yeah.
Oh. So is there anything that you guys desperately want to happen over the next year with Prince releases? Is there anything you're holding out for? Anything that you think just has to happen? Because we've had quite a lot of things out, and there's still a lot of things that could happen, and there could be lots of unreleased albums we don't even know about. That's the thing, because there's certain periods, certainly in the late part of Prince's career, where the leaks just weren't coming out as much as perhaps they did before. I mean, there's lots of things in the 80s. Things seem to just fly out of the Prince camp, but there was a certain time, sort of, perhaps 2010 to 2014, where things didn't leak out so much. So, I mean, is there anything that you really want? If we sat here in a year's time, is there anything that you say, oh, I just wish we'd had that? Because most people have a thing that, if we just got that out, then I'd feel, happy. If we just got the Love Sexy, if we just got the piano microphone, if we just Vault Curator wants his Camille LP. He wants to know who he has to sleep with to get his Camille LP.
Call 1-800 New Folk.
Dirty Mind. See, Dirty Mind. I was thinking, how could that look as a deluxe? That could look amazing as a deluxe.
Yeah. Again, some of the
little bandana, red bandana, little brief. I don't know.
Yeah, some of the B-sides and stuff made onto the hits, the B-sides, didn't they? Or tracks from that era, didn't they? I'm trying to think. Yeah, how much unreleased material from that album there is, or stuff.
Well, you've got the kind of the Second Coming kind of around that time, and the Undertaker. Danny is.
He's got to think about the Undertaker.
He loves the Undertaker. So if the Prince Estate releases,
you'll meet him one day, so don't worry.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, you come on here and you get Danny's love for the Undertaker. I hope he does get that, because I think the Undertaker, if you stopped people, most people who didn't know Prince, they wouldn't know anything about the Undertaker, and yet that's a fantastic. I mean, is that even on DVD? Is that still only on VHS?
VHS.
Yeah. So I mean, having the Undertaker, having that would be, and also that would very much. People who sort of don't always appreciate how good a guitar player Prince was. That would sort them out. Somebody needs to make a video about how good a guitar player Prince was. But
honestly, the comments that I get on that video.
Perhaps Eric Clapton could make one. But yeah, I think the Undertaker is a great thing, a great idea. Parade is. I was surprised because most people. You go back a year and everyone was talking about Parade, weren't they? This is going to be the next thing. Parade is definitely then Diamonds and Pearls. But I haven't heard anything more about Parade. Have you, since sort of all those rumours? And then it's sort of not happened, which is interesting. Madhouse.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
See, that's an argument. Would you like to see a lot more of the kind of associated acts? Because, I mean, apart from obviously the Ice Cream Castles, which is a beautiful vinyl.
It is.
But having a lot of those albums, like Jill Jones, having those albums out there, and the Sheila Ree album. There's a Sheila Ree album, actually, a vinyl re-release, isn't there? A gorgeous teal blue. But having that would be amazing. Yeah, Madhouse, yeah.
Madhouse, definitely. Personally, I would love a special edition of Batman to include, Dance of the Devil. A proper clean version of Dance of the Devil included on that.
Yes.
That would be nice. All the videos.
The thing is, Batman is interesting because, like I say, how does that work in terms of, obviously, there might be a few licensing issues, but if they got them sorted out, imagine how much of a deluxe set you could do with Batman merch. You could go pretty much,
Yeah. You've got the album, you can have the T-shirts, you can have the Scandalous Sex Suite thrown in there as well. You've got the videos. You can have the videos all cleaned up and looking good. thrown in as well. You could, well, I suppose you could add a new tour to go with it, because he did play some of the Batman songs on the new tour.
Well, I mean, the new tour is essentially largely a Batman Graffiti Bridge kind of
crossover, isn't it? You know,
that's another great example. The new tour. I've seen so many clips of highly professionally filmed concert footage for the new tour, and yet no one's even talked about releasing that. Really. I've not heard anything about that. Even the parade tour, like I say, you've got you have that, the sort of hour-long
birthday
one, which but then having a full concert of that. I mean, there's so many things. Even the ones that are released, like One Night Alone, often things are cut out and various things. And for me, the live DVDs have to be, or however you want to put them out, whether it's DVD, Blu-ray, streaming. That has to be the thing, because we've got to get his live performances out there, and there's so many concerts. He filmed everything, so just go out.
Saying that, Joe just said down the bottom, would look like a professional filmed Hop Farm? So was that professionally filmed? I would certainly love to see that. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, and it's just those concerts that people saw, especially like say later in his career. We saw that that clip for Chaos and Disorder. That is immaculate quality. We were there and we saw them filming. I mean, they were right in Prince's face, filming with the camera. They were right there. So I mean, they're filming all of it, and it's immaculate condition. And that was an amazing concert. And the whole hit and run was so different with Third Eye Girl, and yet Montreux, like you say, how Montreux hasn't come out professional. I mean, that would take
They already exist in high quality.
It's there. Get it out. Get it out to everybody, because, like I say, people. And also that's great, because Prince was different every night, and he was a band leader, wasn't he? He was like the big horns and the whole big band,
Well, these things like Montreux, why doesn't that come on Sky Arts or something, or one of those channels? It's just like, come on.
Like you say, why not put it on Netflix or whatever, and say, look, for
Netflix,
people who just scrolling through and say, oh, Prince, there's a concert. Here's Prince Montreux. He's got 12 horn players, and he's there doing great tracks. He's doing these great ballads. I mean, why not put that on Netflix? Because it's all very well to have, and it's important. We're going to have if it eventually gets done, the Netflix documentary and whatever. But having the concerts on there would be brilliant, because people are going to say, well, what's the fuss about? What who is this Prince? And let's get let's get those concerts out there, and that would be fantastic. Imagine Montreux on Netflix. That would be brilliant.
It'd be amazing, wouldn't it? It'd be amazing.
People would love it.
Just bye-bye. Artful's going. Take care.
Take care, Artful. You take care. Big hugs.
She did ask. I haven't got time about. Are we all happy and excited about Welcome to America? So, I am excited about that one, actually. Yes, I am. So, looking forward to it, if we can get it for a good price. If they hold up their French bargain.
We shall see if that. Yes,
we shall see. Yeah, we shall see. Purple Music, Prince Piano covers, Atlanta, Kobo, new Love Sexy, new tour, all Montreux.
That's the thing. I mean, Love Sexy, like you say, again, that really needs to be, because I wore out my VHS so many times, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially that piano section.
I transferred mine onto a DVD years ago, so I could carry on watching it. So. But
you also think of the ones that are overlooked. You think of the Act One tour. You think of the Love for One Another Charities tour. You think of
it's never been released or never been seen.
The new kind of Power Soul tour. You had, Rock in Rio. You've got, there's so many tours and concerts which didn't get, a great deal of attention, and yet, could easily be released. And they're probably all filmed in fantastic quality. And I'm really excited to see the quality as well of this Blu-ray. I'm really excited, because there's no reason why that shouldn't be top quality. It's not that long ago. I know in technological terms, but it's not that long ago.
It should be clear enough and crystal.
Yeah, I mean, it really should. So, I mean, I'm so used to watching these grainy, kind of dirty mind videos or controversy videos where you can just make out,
I mean, even that Sign of the Times Deluxe, that famous, New Year's Eve party. There's so much light bleed on the videos, it's blurring all over the place, late 80s,
I've seen a clip from the kind of, Welcome to America kind of, that era, and like I say, it should look amazing. It should look, really, really crystal. Because I mean, and like I say, there's no excuse certainly for, the Hit and Run tour and things like that, and Musicology. Obviously, we all know that was filmed. So much stuff out there. So.
Yeah. Purple Music Sound one upscale it to 4K. Again, though, I don't think 4K ever really took off. I know a lot of people do have 4K TVs, but when you go into the shop, the 4K section for movies is small still compared to Blu-ray. I know Blu-ray started off small, but that grew pretty quickly.
I'm still catching up. I've got to get. I'm going to buy a movie player.
They're already on 8K. Anyway, they're bringing out 8K now. So even 4K is obsolete before it even really took off.
No, I'm going to 29K.
29K.
That's the standard.
6.5. Call my lawyers. Peace.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I don't know. Anything else in the comments?
Your favourite Prince era? Ooh.
Gold Experience. Maybe.
I knew you were going to say that. I mean, the live experience. When Mr. Ant went to the concert and nobody else knew the words because they were like, "What are these new songs? Why isn't he playing the hits?" And Mr. Ant was there.
And what I loved about it all was the fact that it was the fact that Prince had stepped away to a little extent at that point of mainstream. Well, they were still popular and well known, but that music he was doing and that whole thing felt like something that nobody else knew about. You were in on this cool thing that nobody else knew about, and it was incredible. That's what I loved about it. You were listening to this music nobody knew about, and Prince changed his whole look like he'd never looked before. He's never ever had that look then or since. The music, the style, everything about it was just it was exhilarating for me personally. I loved it. The shot opened up in Camden, it all tied in to just an incredible period. One of my favourites ever. Diamonds and Pearls period, because that was my time. I was a kid when Purple Rain was out. I wasn't into Prince then, so those were my times really. But you love it all. I love it all.
That's the thing. I always think, oh, this era is great, and then I think of another era, and I think, but that's pretty good too. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you make a very compelling point there. I'd largely agree with that. I think, it's pretty much the same for me. I think I remember after the new tour, just because my first concert, I think the Hit and Run was something special in the sense of the excitement of you never knew what was going to happen sometimes until the day. But then I think honestly, if I had to choose, like concert wise, I'd probably be the London O2 shows. Just he just took over London. It was just like it was just Prince everywhere, pictures everywhere. It was just amazing, and the reviews were fantastic. Different shows every night. Indigo. The whole thing was just
When you went up the escalators at the,
even the music before the concert just makes me feel, it was just, and that whole excitement, we went across, on the boat, went to the dome, and it's just beautiful, and I think that was then the O2 for me, really, this is what it's for. This is what the O2 is for. Just amazing.
Absolutely. Love Sexy Era was the best. The tour was amazing. I'd love to have been able to see that tour. It looked incredible. I love the Dortmund show. Just so much energy in that performance. I mean, when you watch the Dortmund show, he looks exhausted. There's sweat dripping off of him, and he's putting it all out there. I mean,
I love the lady. I think it's a lady. Who's playing the guitar in the crowd.
And she's going like that. She's biting her knuckles.
And you take Anastasia there. You take a lot of the tracks, like obviously the dark side, the good side. You take
yes.
I mean, you see Bob George performed, which you're not going to see Super Funkadelic. You're going to see these things, and that section, I think, from the you take the piano medley, and you take kind of the 1999 Purple Rain, When Doves Cry, the Alphabet Street. It's just, I mean, the whole thing is just perfection. It's just absolutely amazing. And even when Prince breaks it down, he's doing like the blues and scene. If I had a harem, baby, and just so cool. It's just so relaxed as well. It's like I'm gonna play basketball. I'm gonna.
I know.
It's just.
I was like, what if he missed? But he didn't. It's so good he didn't miss.
I think that's just amazing. And Volker mentions the Beautiful Experience TV. Do you remember the Beautiful Experience TV special? When he took over basically, Channel 4 basically. but the beautiful experience was just amazing. I love those kind of, what do you call them? The love for one another, beautiful experience.
TV specials, I suppose.
The Ride Divine, they're kind of, you don't
kind of like
you don't sort of get them anymore in the same sense.
You don't sort of thing anymore, do you? Yeah.
It was just I love that. The beautiful experience.
I remember that because as you say, it was on Christmas on Channel 4. I think it was Boxing Day. I think it was.
Was it really? I remember watching it, but I didn't realise it was Boxing Day.
I remember the video and then come back and watching it, and at that time, so I'd had the Tevin Campbell album, so I'd been listening to that, and his version of Shush was on there. The version I'd heard, and suddenly Prince is playing. Oh, what? What's this? It's incredible. Yeah, there was no going back after that, obviously, but that was incredible. A great video.
I still have questions, like for example, did Nona Gay have a door? Because the pizza guy just turned up from behind this curtain.
Yeah, where's her front door?
What was going on there?
Through the curtain. You go, well, how'd you get in? Yeah.
Then he starts asking questions about what she's watching.
That's called artistic license. Yes. Don't worry about it. No one's going to ask.
That was a very strange time because when you think of when you watch Loose and then you got and you have Papa and it's just they were really and they had the different version of Carmen. It's just really interesting time and the video was just a really fascinating kind of because Prince was like I say, he was sort of he was rebelling against the music industry and you had tracks like Interactive, which was just amazing and just and it was just absolutely it was just amazing and that's where do you get that? I mean officially now.
Yeah, exactly. So again, they all need to be reissued, don't they?
The Ride Divine, Love for One Another.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't even know if you could ever buy those anyway. I know you could buy Beautiful Strange. I think you could get that on a VHS, couldn't you? At one point, I think. But
I still remember buying the Sexy MF video, 9 minutes for £9. And my mum was like, "What are you doing?" I guess Prince. And then then obviously 3 Chains of Gold came out, and it was sort of pretty much on there. But that was brilliant. But I think those things need to come. That's the sort of thing you can put all these things onto the site.
Yeah, full career. I need to rewatch 3 Chains of Gold. It's been years. Well, funny, last year, obviously during lockdown, I had a lot of time on my hands. I wasn't working at the time, and I went back and I watched all of them. It was great. It was great. Watched Diamonds and Pearls video collection, 3 Chains of Gold, Sacrifice of Victor, everything. So yeah.
Sacrifice of Victor.
And like you, some of them I've not watched for 10 years or more, maybe.
I still love that bit when he comes to go, "Let the games begin."
I know, it's great, isn't it?
I love the bit also when when Prince is going to the stage on the Sacrifice of Victor, and it's like he's coming in from the left.
I know. right now. Again,
his guitar solos then are just, and his faces are just
amazing,
on fire, aren't they? Amazing. Really are on fire. I mean, that was.
But according to most people on the guitar video that I made, he's very average, bang average guitar player. Never did anything.
Just unbelievable. You got to watch Mr. Ant's video. He
just read the comments.
Just basically it's all about how amazing Prince is as a guitarist, and there's still people who sort of don't really appreciate Prince's genius.
They react to the title thinking that it's a slight for some reason. You go, it was Prince, the most underrated guitarist, or whatever. Prince underrated, blah 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 blah, and you get a whole rant. And you go, "Did you actually watch the video?"
And do you know what else they could do? Actually, I just thought another thing the estate could do. They could put, all the videos like Purple Rain, actually on the official. We had the most viewed, I think, Prince video on YouTube is probably obviously this While My Guitar Gently Weeps, I suppose, and the Purple Rain video, which is on the Codfather YouTube channel rather than the official Prince channel. And
Diana's going.
It's just bizarre, but hopefully they'll like I said, they'll get everything. I think they just need to, like I say, push every angle they can, and I think getting more things, like I say, go to where people are. If they're on Netflix or they're on Amazon Prime, get some concerts on there. That's a no-brainer.
We're hoping, with this Welcome to America, that this is the beginning of that. Now it's finally, each release has got more of what we've been asking for. The way the sets have been designed, the way they are, what they're including. So, and now we're getting a Blu-ray, we're getting a concert we haven't seen. So I'm really hoping now that this is the way forward, that we're going to get that with everything, because they all have had one, haven't they? 1999 Deluxe had a show, Some of the times obviously had the New Year's Eve concert, so we're getting a gig with every release. So I'm really hoping that now we're going to get this, and hopefully with every release it will get, as you say,
that's the thing. Once it's, hopefully it's going to get very close now to getting that tax and everything else sorted out, and they can just focus solely on getting these 21 nights on Netflix. That is a great call. And just getting these things done and getting these things out there, because at the end of the day, my kind of concern is actually, bizarrely, it's been Paisley Park in a weird way, because it's not that I necessarily I'm going to go or anything like that, but it's a sense that I like knowing that Paisley's still there, and I want it to still be inspiring artists and recording things. And I think Paisley's very different, because very few people have got a place like that, and I think keeping that going is going to be really important. And they're going to have to, obviously they've got the celebration, which is obviously struggle because of COVID, but they're letting people in for tours and stuff like that. But like I say, having people record there, having kids have tours there to inspire them, and various things, because we want to keep Paisley, we want to keep it there. And
costs a lot of money to run that place.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And Prince could always cope with that, because like I say, we'll do a few concerts, millions of pounds. But
exactly,
Paisley's my big concern. So if we can get that kind of doing well, that would be
really cool. Tony Delta Blues, off to get a beer. I've done my taxi in for this evening. We're still on. He's been out and come back again, and we're still going on. How long have I been rambling on?
That's typical of us. But
yeah, I know. We could do one of those, when they do for hours, for a charity.
Oh, like a charity one, like 2 days or something. Yeah,
2 days talking about Prince non-stop.
Yeah, once you get a start, seriously, we're terrible. So honestly. You'll see us at a Prince concert, come and talk to us, and 3 hours later you'll be like,
I wish I hadn't spoken to him. Yeah. Just ask Danny Tickman to tell you.
But I think
I think we covered a lot, definitely.
Yeah.
It's been really good. So overall, I think fairly positive. Then I would say, really. A slow start for the estate, and obviously, as we said, it's never going to be easy. No one's had this situation before like this, so. Always easy to be critical.
And like you say, there was no specific, it wasn't like Bowie where he set out a lot of things he wanted to happen, and he didn't have that.
Yeah, Prince had the will. That's another question, but it's not that, like you say, there was a plan from Prince saying, I want this released, I want that released, I want this, blah, 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 blah. They happened to just sort of, work it all out for themselves, which isn't easy when you think that they've got, is it in that 60 Minutes documentary where they said that there's stuff that could release like to the year 3000 or something?
Yeah.
Are they just exaggerating a bit here, or is there really that much?
Jay Crash says, isn't it amazing how Prince has many different generations of fans? That's the thing. I got into Prince largely because someone, like I say, copied those tapes for me, and they were, an older generation to me. But then I see lots of fans coming through who are like, 18, 20, and to see that next generation, and hopefully that will pass on again. And to see that, and it's interesting because I know Prince fans who I know some in their 80s, I know some who are kind of, teenagers, and it's like you've got that kind of fascination that he means different things to different people. I mean, somebody said the other day that he sort of, his music's being used on like TikTok and various. It's just sort of being changed and adapted, and it's interesting how that's going over time. And like I say, because there's going to be a different generation, a new generation coming up who won't have grown up with Prince, but will hopefully discover him. And you see, when I see somebody, sort of in their 20s in a Prince t-shirt, I mean, I hope Danny won't mind me saying as well that he sort of, he's introducing the next generation to Prince. And Volcarator, my boy is 3. And he loves to love Bizarre, Turn It Up, and Housequake. See, so 3-year-olds into Prince. So
there you go. That's new power generation.
There was one other thing I want to say as well. I just want to say that obviously, this it might be a difficult time for a lot of people. It's okay to feel sad, and it's okay to feel you want to play some upbeat music or some sad music or whatever. And I think we just have to kind of, I suppose, be there for each other if you have friends who are Prince fans, and Just you be there, and if they need support, because it isn't easy, and it brings up lots of emotions of different things. And we just I think I have to look at it as just I was lucky to have Prince in my life, and he's still in my life, and his music is still there, and he's still, every time I listen to the music, it feels like he's there. He's there instantly. And like I say, listen to Welcome America, to hear his voice come through there, it just feels like he's back in the room. It's in your earphones, and when he's there, you forget about everything in the world, and it's just the best. They said, music. Prince said, music is the best medicine, and he's
absolutely well said. Yeah, absolutely. And we will all be thinking of each other on the 21st, and and getting through this thing, and I hope you all celebrate it in your own personal ways, whatever is best for you, whatever way you feel like doing it. There's so many different ways we can celebrate Prince. This is the closest day to it where we could kind of come on and do what we wanted to do, because obviously life gets in the way, everyday life. So this is our way of just coming out there. But we are still here. I know there's a lot of people going, it's nice to see you again, where have you been? We are still here.
It's like musicology. Even the soldiers need a break sometimes.
Exactly. Exactly. And we have got loads of things in the pipeline. So videos will be coming out. So just be patient, which is good. Anyone else we got? So true. Amen to that. Yeah, people just agreeing with what you were saying. She's 19. That could be a song. She's 19.
That's the trouble, is once I start listening to sort of things in Prince's vault and stuff like that, and things in my collection, I kind of I go missing. But
yeah. Why are you not in the clubhouse?
Isn't the clubhouse the new thing? The new thing, like Elon Musk and all this. So I don't know.
Oh, right, okay.
I might be wrong. I'm not down. I've got to kind of learn these things. I've got to learn about it.
Right. I don't know.
There's others here with us, really spooked. This others here with us is one of the spookiest tracks Prince has ever done. Really. When I first heard that, I don't know what you call it. The it always reminds me of Psycho the movie with the strings in that. It's like it's terrifying. There's others here with us. I know it's one of the most psychedelic and spooky things.
It is.
Really,
that would be on the super deluxe parade. Hopefully, if it ever.
That is. You sort of. I've always wanted to know what Prince was what was in his mind when that came about. I mean, at that point, I think if Prince came up with that track and recorded that, I'll be saying, Prince, you've not slept for a while. I think you're having experiences. I mean, that is amazing. I mean, that's it. I love that track though, because that to me,
it's another unique track, isn't it? There's so many that he's done.
That's so different.
Yeah. They just stand on their own. It's in a genre of its own. There's nothing else like it.
Yeah. Who does that?
Exactly. And there are numerous tracks that Prince have done like that, where they're just on their own. That is that.
Purple and Gold being the best example.
Oh, we can forget that one. Sweep that one under the carpet. Yeah, not the finest. Oh, dear.
I'm not going to get my Purple and Gold Deluxe then, no? Okay.
No,
that's fine.
That'd be a record store day release.
All right, okay.
I don't know. Never mind. Very emotive. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Remember the scene in the movie where a woman from his past scares him?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
In Under Cherry Moon, yes.
Under the Cherry Moon, exactly, where he's having a drink out on that balcony. Yeah. I think.
Not the way he lines up all the drinks really neatly,
I know, actually. Yeah. Record stores still exist. They do, apparently. Still.
Just not near me.
No, same here. So difficult. I don't know. Anyway, I suppose it's getting near time to wrap this up. We've been on it for an hour and 45 minutes, believe it or not.
That's quite good for us. That's what we call a brief statement.
That's a brief statement of where we're at 5 years down the line. So yeah, overall pretty good. Let's see what happens in the future. Hopefully we'll all get what we're wanting. And
good luck with getting Welcome to America in whatever way you can.
Absolutely, I'm sure we'll be covering that. There'll be more stuff, around that time when it happens. When is it? July, isn't it? I think. So look out for that.
We'll see if we get our delivery from France.
Oh God, I know. I hope so. Oh my God, I just gone.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone, because you
Yeah,
without you guys, it would just be me and Mr. Ants talking in the room. And don't get me wrong, we probably still do that
anyway.
But I'm saying that, it's one of the nicest things in the world. The community. The community is just one of the biggest benefits I've ever had doing this. We're incredibly lucky to do what we do.
Yeah,
really
I was just going to say that to be able to come on here and do this and have all you guys interact it's a dream come true. It's incredible. All you like-minded people, amazing people out there. It's a pleasure, a privilege, and to be involved in all of this. So yeah, thank you everybody. And
and we just like to clear up, we're not the same person, because there are a few people on the internet who think we are the same person. And I often get, I went to the gallery exhibition and the prints, a private review, Afshin Shahidi, and somebody literally said, "Are you Mr. Ants or the other one?"
The other one.
I'm the other one.
The other one.
I was like, but we are separate people, honestly.
I'm Latoya, he's Michael, yeah.
I mean, although you can't see it at the moment, when we appear in real life together, we are different.
Yes. We are two different people, as Michael said. Yeah. God, I love it. I don't know. Anyway, God bless everybody, and enjoy I can't say enjoy, but just I hope you all get through the 21st in the best way possible. We'll be thinking of you all. Celebrate, play the music, do whatever makes you feel good, and just remember Prince is always there, as you said earlier. And
he's always on the headphones.
Always on the headphones, always there, and and there you go. So yeah, thanks a lot, everybody, and we will see you all very soon.
Take care.
Take care, everybody. Bye.